In this episode, I will talk about how to sound like a native English speaker. Hey guys, my name is Aiko Hemingway and I'm an American English pronunciation coach. And when you listen to my English, you may think that maybe she moved to the US when she was a child. But the answer is no. I moved to the US when I was 23 years old. I was born and raised in Japan, and I had a very thick Japanese accent when I moved to California. No one understood my English, and then also I didn't understand what they were saying, and I had a hard time starting at the age of 23. In this episode, I want to share how you can start sounding like a native English speaker even though you are already an adult and you may want to give up. But no, before you give up, watch this episode and start working on 3 things that I'm gonna share, and you will start seeing lots of improvements. Before I dive into today's topic, I want to mention that I am creating a free guide for you to start sounding like a native speaker. I'm gonna put the link in the description box so you can sign up for it now, and then when it's ready, you will receive it. And especially coming from my Japanese background, it was really hard for me to learn English sounds. Pronunciation is so extremely difficult. So I understand if it is difficult for you, and if you want to work on your pronunciation to be able to present better and perform better in the English environment, I highly recommend that you check out this guide. All right, so today's topic. So I will talk about how to sound like a native English speaker as an adult language learner. If your native language doesn't sound like English, it is so hard to go to the English sounds. And then I'm gonna share 3 tips today so that you can start working on your pronunciation from today. The first tip is to start listening. One day I was talking with my American friends. At that time, I made some friends through music because I didn't really speak English well. So I couldn't communicate by conversations, but I made some friends through music. So I was talking with my American musician friends, and then they told me, Aiko, why is your English so old? That hit me. Like, old? What do you mean by old? And then they explained, like, the way that you speak or the words that you use are old. We don't use them anymore. And then at that time, I had my dictionary that I brought from Japan and that I was using it in high school when I was learning English there. I showed the dictionary to my friends, and then they saw the dictionary, and then they said, oh, all right, this is why your English is old. You got all the old words and expressions in your dictionary, and you're learning it in the textbook and dictionary. That's why your English is really old. That day, I threw away that dictionary and started listening to what the people were saying. And that opened up my mind because maybe before that I was closed in, and then I learned English for 6 years in Japan, and I learned all the grammar, difficult words and expressions, but then they sounded very unnatural in modern time. Maybe I learned the old grammar, old expressions, because textbooks do not get updated, but languages we speak change so fast, right? Okay, so I need to start listening. So that's what I did. So my first tip for you is to start listening what people are saying around you. If you're in an English environment, that's great because you have so many people around you that you can listen to, right? If you're in Japan, if you are in different parts of the world where you don't have the interactions with native English speakers, I highly recommend that you create that kind of environment where you speak English. Make that environment where you are the only non-native English speaker. So Toastmasters would be a great place. I joined Toastmasters, and everywhere I went, I was the only non-native English speakers most of the time, right? So when you get into that situation, they will not slow down for you, right? And they will be talking really fast. You'll be able to start listening to them, so then listen to what they are saying, what kind of words and expressions they use. I was bringing like small notebook with me everywhere. Well, nowadays we have smartphones, so you can take memos on your phone, but before the smartphone, I was carrying my small notebook everywhere with a pen. So every time I heard new words or new expressions, I wrote them down so that I can practice them. And sometimes you learn new words and you don't know how to use them, right? But then I encourage you to use them and be courageous, because you may make some mistakes where people may laugh at you. And then I had so many occasions like that. I learned new expressions, new words, and I tried to use them, and then people laughed at me. What did you say? And sometimes it became like a really bad meaning, and then people laughed at me. Sometimes they yelled at me because they got really mad that I said something very offensive or it was really bad. But be courageous, because you don't know what you are saying sometimes, and then they will let you know. And then if they yell at you or get mad at you, that is just a part of the process, right? So just be okay with it as well. So the tip number 2 is to learn different consonants and vowels. English has so many different vowels, which is very unusual. For example, the Japanese language has 5 vowel system, right? A, I, U, E, O. So before learning English pronunciation, what I was doing was that I listened to English sounds, and then I was filtering the sounds into the sounds that I knew. And then I didn't get all the different vowels. For example, when I wanted to say fact, I said it with the schwa sound to native English speakers, because I said it with a Japanese ah. Imagine when you wanted to say fact, but when you said it with the vowel about 20 people in that room, and then they were talking, right? So when I said this word really loudly, all the people in the room stopped talking, and so it became silent, right? And I was like, what? And then they looked at me at the same time and then started laughing at me. I was like, what did I say? I didn't know. So later I found out that I said the F word with the ED. I was like, oh my God, you don't want to say F word or S word by accident, right? And then besides, you may not know that you said it. And that was me. I didn't know that I said it. And the people started laughing at me. And I was like, what is happening? And I had no idea. So maybe that was really funny for them, right? Because I was like, I said something really bad, and then I didn't know what I said. So I recommend that you learn vowels that do not exist in your native language. Tip number 3 is to start feeling stressed syllables. English is stress language. And I don't know about your native language, but Japanese is pitch accent language. English and Japanese are very, very different. And some Asian languages are tone languages. So know the difference between your native language and English. So English is a stress language. People feel the stressed syllables, and that's how they know the meaning of the word. For example, the word record. The noun form is record. Re is the strong one. Record, right? But if you switch the stressed syllable to record, it becomes the verb record and record. And also, the sound changes from record to record. You feel that the vowels were different from record and record, right? So you want to listen to the different sounds, but at the same time you want to feel the different stressed syllables. So Japanese doesn't really have the stressed syllables and unstressed syllables. I used to speak like this. Hello, my name is Aiko. I am an American English pronunciation coach. When I spoke in the past, I didn't have any stressed syllables. But now when I speak, I say, hey guys, my name is Aiko Hemingway. My name is Aiko Hemingway. So when you have stressed syllables, you will start feeling the rhythm, right? So that's English. So you want to start feeling the stressed syllables when you speak and also when you listen to English, and then you will start hearing it. Americans hear Japanese words like konnichiwa. We say konnichiwa in the same strength, right? But then the pitch and the length are very important in the Japanese language. Konnichiwa, right? But then American people will say konnichiwa, stressing ni, right? So they listen to Japanese sounds and then they convert the sound into the stress language. So konnichiwa, Tokyo, Kyoto, but Japanese would say Tokyo, Kyoto, konnichiwa, stuff like that. How does your native language work? And then think about how you have been filtering the English information into your language system. So when you stop filtering the sounds and then just observe the sound as is, you will start feeling this stressed syllable system. So today I shared 3 tips for you to start sounding like a native English speaker. Alright, so let me know if this episode was helpful and if you actually implemented those tips into your daily conversation practice, and if you start seeing the improvements, please comment below and let me know, because I want to congratulate your improvements. And as I mentioned earlier in the video, I am creating a free pronunciation guide for non-native English speakers, and when you go through this guide, you will know what to work on in order to improve your English pronunciation. You will receive it when it's ready. Alright, so please let me know if you have any questions, and I will talk to you in the next episode.